Hello, welcome to 15 Minutes of Consulting Best Practices. Hello, David.
Hello, Maria Isabel on solar eclipse, lunar eclipse day, whatever. It's eclipse day.
In the US, it is. Wherever you are, whether it's already hit you'll see bits and pieces of it soon. Share. If you see something interesting, share. It's cloudy skies over here, so we'll see what happens. All right. As you know, on Mondays, we take your questions and we answer them with all the knowledge we gather from serving over 300 clients in the most practical and tactical way we can, so that you can forward your consulting practice, move it forward, whether it's creating delight for you or growing it further. Throw your questions at us and we'll do our best. And we welcome also your comments and interventions on other people's questions. And as those of you who are familiar with the spot know, it takes a minute before we actually get to see your comments. So don't be shy, post right away. And having said that, Deidre, can you please share the first question for today? Thank you. Okay, Jason asked, what has been the most effective use of your time in your online marketing efforts on LinkedIn? Oh, this question's for you, David. Okay. How do you measure that effectiveness?
Okay, most effective use of time for online marketing on LinkedIn, and how do we measure? I think that the two most effective ways to use LinkedIn are with one-on-one messaging, which then can lead to conversations that are no longer on LinkedIn. You want to move people from LinkedIn to voice-to-voice conversations, being able to see each other like you and I see each other, Maria Isabel, and be able to talk with each other. You want to do that as quickly as possible. And one-on-one messaging works so well. So and it's very effective on LinkedIn. So I would do that. And then really shockingly to me, what we're doing here, the LinkedIn Lives, have been really surprisingly effective. So now, so the second part of the question is, how do you measure effectiveness, right? So to me, there's only one metric, and the metric is, what's it doing to your pipeline? So there's nothing to do, LinkedIn has nothing to do with how many people are seeing your posts, how many people are attending your sessions live. Though those things matter to some extent, they matter less than you would expect. What matters is who's seeing your posts, who's interacting, who's engaging with live streams, and whether or not that turns into movement on your pipeline. And so then you just track your pipeline health. I mean, are you having conversations? Are those conversations revealing opportunities? Are those opportunities leading to context discussions, to proposals, and to clients, which is your normal tracking of your pipeline. So I think that's, did I answer the question, Maria Isabel?
I think you did. And if I hear you correctly, what you're saying is person to person, more effective than one to many. And we know that, right? And so LinkedIn messaging, a good way to forward your person to person connections and to keep them warm and active. Move out of it as soon as you can into an actual conversation that it's a warmer form of an exchange, a more complete form of an exchange, and track the source of your leads, right? So if you see your number of A1 connections or your network core connections increase, and those are coming from LinkedIn, then you know your efforts are being effective.
Yeah,
or
I
if
think
connections become warmer, that's also a measure of effectiveness.
Yeah, I think you brought up something which I missed, which is really important, which is to track your network core, to ensure that you're growing your network core, you're adding to it. It will be, at most time, your network core will be shrinking as people retire or get out of whatever business or just aren't interacting anymore. So they're, it's no longer a good relationship. And so you need to be replenishing it all the time. So I think that's a really good addition.
Beautiful.
Cool. Right. Any questions from the folks watching? Maybe, maybe not. If not, Deidre, What else do we have in our magic bucket of questions? All right. How do you know when enough is enough? I've tried reaching out to some of my contacts multiple times and haven't heard back. All of those terrible contacts, Ben. When should I drop them off the list? Well, Isabel, when is enough enough? When should Ben drop people off the list?
And I can hear, Ben, in your question, the disappointment from reaching out to somebody and not hearing back, and then reaching out again and not hearing back, right? So knowing that for most of us is a tough moment to be in, or a tough situation to be in, I'm going to kind of ask you to put that toughness aside. And because the answer in a very consulting way is it depends, right?
Yeah.
If you're using 111 messaging, presumably you could go on forever. Every 3-4 months, reaching out to your contact. Every outreach is disconnected from your previous one. So you're not eroding their relationship in any way by asking one right side up question that it's about them in one line, right? It also depends on the size of your network core. So if the size of your network core is such that it can sustain your business, and it's rich and it's growing, and you have enough folks that keep you busy in terms of your outreach, and you have over 100 folks that you're reaching out on a quarterly basis, then maybe that's a good moment to come and clean folks, if you will, who haven't responded for an extended period of time. However, if your network core is a little bit smaller and you can sustain that level of outreach, then keep going, right? So the third consideration that makes it depends is the size of the opportunity you have in front of you. Yeah. So say you're reaching out to a decision maker, an A1, somebody that you thought their relationship was very warm and that knows you well, that you know well, and that is a decision maker that can buy substantial amount of consulting with you. It's worth reaching out to that person over a period of years, if you will, because when that turns into an opportunity, the opportunity will be substantial enough to justify the 5 minutes you spend every 3 months writing your 111 email. David, what do you think?
Well, I mean, I agree completely. So yeah, I'm 100% on board. And it depends. I mean, your last example, the last thing you talked about, when we teach 111 messaging, right? When we do it for groups or for clients, because we use all real examples. One of the examples in there is from a contact that, I mean, it's all my 111 messages and your 111 messages, but there's one from a contact. It took years, but he's the CEO of a really sizable firm, and it'd be a great client, and it was worth the persistence. So yeah, add on their likelihood to send you chocolate if you're persistent, and exactly. I think you've got your answer complete.
All right, Ben. Let us know if that's helpful, and put aside the disappointment from not hearing back.
It's really quiet in here today, quieter than normal. I know most of our watchers view this afterwards, but if you're live, at least say hello, say hi in the comments, so we know whether there's whether everybody's watching on replay or whether there's anyone live.
Perhaps everybody's trying to watch the eclipse today.
Yeah, maybe everybody's on there. I just got a note from my best friend. He's driving out to see it, and my son's doing that too. So maybe that's everybody's eclipsing today.
There you go.
All right. Do we have anything else? Drew, are there any more in the bucket?
Okay, so this one's for you.
Okay.
Alex says, I'm going on site to a client. How should I balance my time between meeting in person with people I know well versus trying to meet with people I don't have as strong a relationship with? I'll only have time to see 1 or 2 people between meetings.
Okay. Going on client
Hello,
site.
Preston. Thank you for saying hi.
Yeah, hi, Preston. And hi, Fran.
And hi, Fran.
And okay, so go in client site, only have time for a few people. Do you meet with the people you already know, or do you meet with new people? I really like that question. That's an interesting one.
Me too.
So I guess our theme for the day is going to be, it depends. So I think it depends on the relationship you have, the strength of relationship you have with the people you know well, right? So, for instance, if it's really strong and you don't gain any huge benefit by popping your head in to say hello, and you can use that time to nurture some budding or nascent relationships, then I would go that way. But I would prioritize your current relationships up to the point where they're really stable, especially if you don't get on the site very, very often. Um, and then if those are stable and strong and excellent, then you move down into, where some folks who maybe I have a B relationship with, that I can, by being face to face with them for a few minutes, it can move them to an A. Or maybe there's a decision maker that I don't know at all that I can at least meet or get a quick introduction to. So that's my take on it. Marie-Isabelle, what do you think? You're pretty good at this. You do a lot of walking the halls, or you used to back in the day.
I used to. Right now, I just walk the hall on behind my screen. But yes, I love the opportunity to be there, say hello. And
Yeah.
what I found is there was a fine line between the people that I know, that I like, that knew me really well, feeling like they were taken care of, versus the need to spend a lot of time with them. So what I often did, and you won't be surprised, David, by this, is I thought in advance and wrote notes and brought chocolate and just left it either with their dad at their desk or with their assistants if they had any. That way, when they came back from wherever it was they were doing, they knew I would be there. And people would be laughing, saying, "Oh, we know Maria Isabel was here this week because all the tables had chocolate in them," right? A little something of chocolate from Florida, something that thought that it was, I thought about it beforehand and not on the spot. What also happened with that, Alex, and may be helpful to you, is that then everybody wanted to meet me, because they all wanted to get the monthly chocolate at their desk with their notes, thought about you, see you soon, or whatever, right? So people will be like, "Have you met my desk mate so-and-so?" And that was perfect.
So funny. That is so funny. So that's a way better answer, though. It brings up the question of, how do you travel with all that chocolate and not eat it before you arrive at the client site? But we can save that for another time. Let's wonder whether we can knock out
stash too.
I wonder whether we can knock out one more question quickly. If one doesn't, Deidre, do we have another question? I'm attending a conference for a client. I'll be running a meeting for them while I'm there. Can I also do BD, since there might be prospects at the conference? So Lexi's asking, what do you think? Let's give the 30-second answer to this. Can she do BD at a conference that she's attending on behalf of a client?
Yes, with one gate for me. The gate is, did you fully deliver for your client to the extent your client is expecting you to? If after that there's additional time, then by all means connect with more folks. That's it. Yeah. 30 seconds. What do you have, David?
I'm right where you are. You have an obligation to the client first and foremost. So you can't do anything that gets in the way of that obligation. And so I guess the only caveat would be, if your BD would somehow get in the way, I wouldn't do it. But yeah, otherwise, if you have extra time, you've fulfilled all your obligations, then sure, why not? You can meet people.
Right. And BD is about connecting.
Absolutely right.
Connect with folks. There's no limitation.
Absolutely right. And somehow we've used up almost all our time again. So Fran and Preston, thank you for showing up, and other folks who showed up, and those of you who are coming afterwards, thank you for spending 15 minutes with us. Important announcement before you go: the Solo Practice Accelerator is open for registration. There are 3 things to know about that. One, it is a phenomenal program. Alumni from that program have done extraordinary things, whether it's building 7-figure firms or paying for kids' vacations or traveling more. The stories we get from alumni are really inspiring. 2, we're only running the program once this year. If you don't sign up for this one, you'll be waiting until 2025. So just so you know. And 3, early bird registration closes this week. So if you have a practice under $1 million and you want to participate in this program, go to davidafields.com /spa and register. Also, if you don't get our weekly articles, subscribe, davidafields.com /subscribe. And with that, thank you for being here live or afterwards. Have a fabulous week. Remember, don't look into the sun without special glasses. And also remember, consulting is about them. It's about your clients, it's about your prospects. So just give them value and give them kindness. And we'll see you next week. Take care.
Ciao. Thank you.